Good evening. Thank you all for being here. Just a few moments ago, we had a pretty informative meeting between the mayor's office. We had JPD in, we had the fire department, we had our public works team and our infrastructure manager in there, as well as constituent services, all talking about what we plan to do as the city is bracing for Hurricane Francine or the tropical storm that will affect the city. One thing to be aware of is this storm will affect the city of Jackson. We've been in constant contact with MEMA, getting updates from them as also from the National Weather Service. Here in Jackson, we do expect flooding. We expect some strong winds. We do know that flooding is an issue oftentimes when we have heavy rains here in the city of Jackson. Our public works crews are out now in those areas that we are known to be prone to flooding. They are checking those areas, they're checking those drains. In some of the downtown areas, they're checking those culverts to make sure that they are ready for the flash flooding that should occur. We have barricades that are already on standby in those areas. Residents already know those areas that are prone to flooding. When those rains come tomorrow, we are asking people to stay out of those flood-prone areas. Turn around, don't drown. That is the mantra that we all need to be aware of. If you see those barricades, please don't go around them. Please don't move them. And that's for your safety. We have also been in close contact with JPS to find out what the schools will be doing, and we will help them communicate that message as soon as they come to a decision as to what will happen with the schools. We've also been in close contact with Entergy. They're asking residents to download the Entergy app if possible. That way you can stay abreast as to what is happening when it comes to outages, because if we're going to have strong winds here in Jackson, you could expect some power outages. Having that Entergy app will keep you abreast as to when those outages are occurring, where they're occurring, and also it'll keep you abreast as to where they are when it comes to restoring power in your area. With your devices, we're asking that you try to keep your phones charged as much as possible, any device that you have, because it's going to be super important that you stay weather aware as this storm rolls into our area. We do have shelters that will be on standby to open as the weather moves into that area, but to speak more on the storms, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Joseph Wade to talk about the storms and other ways that JPD already has their storm plan in place. After that, you'll hear from Cleotha Sanders, who'll talk about the fire department, what they have in place. Our solid waste division also has some tips for residents, and then we'll wrap it up and take a few questions, but not too many.
Thank you. Good afternoon. We are preparing for the worst, but praying for the best. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. We are prepared for Francine. We are transitioning into our incident command format. Assistant Chief Wendell Watts will be the officer in charge of this operation. All Jackson police officers and detectives will report to work tomorrow in uniform. We will pay overtime to make sure beats are filled and the 911 center is manned. We are very confident in our ability to mitigate this situation. I ask the public, if it is not a life-threatening situation, please use our administrative number, 601-960-1234. If it is an emergency, of course, please contact 911. The reason I say this, we normally field about 6,000 calls for service a week. We know with this weather coming in, it may be 10,000 calls. Let's not bog the line down with administrative calls. The JPD Academy will be a shelter location. We're working in lockstep with the Red Cross to make sure our citizens have a safe place to go. I do have another tip. Please stay out of standing water. Please stay out of standing water. Turn around, don't drown. We have got to understand that if there are downed trees, power lines, standing in water, that is a recipe for a disaster and unnecessary human harm. Let me say this with full confidence. We are Jackson strong. We will get past this episode. We're very prepared for it. This is what we do. This is what we train for, and we will be out in numbers over the next 24 to 48 hours. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Cleota Sanders, Deputy Fire Chief, Jackson Fire Department. As always, the Jackson Fire Department is always ready to respond in the event when called upon during inclement weather. Our firefighters are ensuring that all of our equipment is operational as well as topped off with fuel. So in the event that we need to respond, we will respond accordingly. We also have made sure that our boats and our dive team members are prepared and ready in the event that someone, as Chief Wade talked about, we don't want anyone to drive or walk through standing water. But in the event that someone does do that, the Jackson Fire Department, we do have qualified personnel who will respond to that emergency. But again, we ask that you turn around and don't drown. We also would like to encourage our community members to always have a home fire escape plan with working smoke alarms. If you do not have working smoke alarms, we ask that you would call the Jackson Fire Department at 601-960-1399. We have qualified educators who will provide you with those smoke alarms in your home so you can make sure that you are safe and fire protected. We also would like to encourage all of our community members. We know that during this time when the power is out, we have members who would like to use portable generators. And we just like to remind you that do not use your generators inside of your home. You have to make sure that you are using your generators as far away from the home, windows and doors as possible, and make sure that you're using extension cords that are appropriate to run those generators during that time. So make sure that you all are following the manufacturer's instructions and make sure that our community comes out of this event with safe as possible. So the Jackson Fire Department is here. We will respond, and we are ready to answer any call that our citizens may need during this time. And as always, we ask that you would check on your neighbors, especially the elderly, as well. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I do have a few storm preparedness tips for residents and our local contractors. This information will be available via the city website and social media pages, but I will give you a brief overview. In regards to pre-preparation for our residents, we ask that over the next 24 hours, as the rains increase, as the winds increase, that you do secure your trash receptacles. As the wind picks up, those cans can become windblown, trash can become windblown as well. So please be prepared that once you put those items out, that you're immediately ready to bring them in. After the storm, or during the storm rather, we ask that residents, if you can, limit putting your debris out to the curb. We ask that you wait till the storm passes before you put that debris out, because as the rains pick up, it could become washed and windblown as well. In regards to our contractors and our residents, please be advised that if you are hiring contractors to come to your home to do debris removal, particularly for limb or tree debris, it is the contractor's responsibility to remove that debris. It is also the resident's responsibility to ensure that those contractors dispose of that debris responsibly. So, as I stated, this information will be available via our city website and our city Facebook pages. We do ask that all of your calls regarding debris removal, even your waste collection, please send those responses through our 311 system. We want to ensure that all of that information is collected in one area to better provide us an opportunity to respond. Thank you.
So just a reminder, phone numbers that residents will really need during this storm, 960-1234, that's 601-964-1234, or 601-960-1111, or 311, and that's what they need to call, even after hours when it comes to non-emergent needs. Also, make sure that you stay tuned to the city's website and social media pages. We'll be updating them as much as we can. And also, the city has already made an emergency declaration. We did that a few hours ago, and that's in lieu of this storm, and that's to go ahead and to clear up or cut through any red tape when it comes to reimbursements for the city once this storm passes, and also to make it a lot easier when it comes to hiring contractors. Okay? Any other questions or any questions? All right, we may have another briefing tomorrow if we need to, but we thank you guys for coming. Everybody stay weather aware and stay safe. Thank you.